I'm Ashton Addison from the Crypto Coin Show, and today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Sid Gandhi, the CEO of Payy. Sid, welcome to the show, and thanks for taking the time.
Cool. Excited to be here.
Definitely, I'm excited to dive into the privacy aspect of blockchain. I feel like it's becoming ever more important to know about it. Would love to start, first of all, with a little bit on yourself and business, blockchain, privacy, your background, how that led you to founding Payy. Then we can dive into all the details.
Yeah, cool. I guess my crypto journey started in 2012. I read the Bitcoin white paper, got really excited about the possibilities of decentralized financial networks, and kind of followed the variety of different trends and cool things that have been built since then. Uh, Early in 2022, my co-founder and I got really excited about building infrastructure to solve the scalability, cost, and privacy problems that were still in crypto that we felt were like kind of keeping crypto from mass adoption. So we started Polybase Labs. We built a bunch of cool stuff since then. We built Polybase Database, which was a decentralized database used by over 4,000 developers. We built ZK Bench, which was a ZK Frameworks benchmarking tool. It's probably the top most used benchmarking tool today. We looked at Risk Zero, we looked at Noir, we looked at Polygon Miden, and we benchmarked those in a way that's repeatable by anyone. That's all open source. And we also built Polylang, which is a TypeScript to ZK bytecode compiler. And so if you know how to write TypeScript or JavaScript, it's really easy to write ZK circuits with that. What we started working on at the end of last year was a consumer application because we really felt strongly that there's been a lot of advancements in ZK and privacy from an infrastructure perspective, but really getting that into people's hands has been a huge challenge. If you ask people do they use privacy tech in crypto today? The answer is usually no, or we've tried, but it's really hard. And there's a bunch of examples out there. Either it's really expensive on gas, it's really slow. You have to take a bunch of different steps to wrap and unwrap and shield and unshield. And we said, can we actually simplify that for people and build something that is private, is self-custodial, is decentralized, but feels like just another app that's really easy to use on your phone.
Wow, very cool. I'm excited to hear more about that because I have personally tried some different privacy networks, privacy coins, and yeah, you're right. There's always extra steps, or it's just way too much effort for the value that you're trying to get.
Yeah.
So how exactly has your team sort of lowered those barriers to entry with the Payy network to allow more people to have access to these privacy functionalities?
Yeah, there's basically three main areas that we've worked on to improve that experience. The first one is the privacy itself. And so what does privacy mean? So on Payy Network and in the Payy wallet, privacy means your sender, the receiver, the token, and the amount. Those are all completely private and only stored on the user's device, and they're encrypted and backed up. Now, what gets sent to the network every time you make a transaction is a ZK proof and a hash. And that's all handled automatically in a self-custodial way. The second main area is kind of abstracting away all those really crypto things about doing crypto payments. So things like addresses, keys, seed phrases, tokens, gas fees or gas tokens. We've abstracted all that away from the user. So what you see in Payy Wallet is your USDC balance. And to send a payment, you generate an ephemeral wallet, which is just generating a link. So you just type in, I want to send $5, you hit next. The app automatically generates an ephemeral wallet, stores that $5 in that wallet, and then generates a link. And then you can send that link to anyone. So we pull up the share sheet. You can send it via iMessage or Telegram or Signal. And when the receiver gets that link, they can just click that link. And if they don't have Payy Wallet, it'll prompt them to download it. If they do, it'll open directly in Payy Wallet, and it'll just allow them to redeem into their balance. And so we've kind of you don't have to think about what chain you're on and wrapping and unwrapping and any of that. It's all kind of done for you. And the last part is that the ramps on and off, whether through fiat or existing crypto networks, have to be really seamless, and they have to be really fast. And so what we've done is we've integrated a variety of different ramps. So right now we have Robinhood Connect, we have Coinbase, we have Binance, we have other exchanges. You can obviously deposit funds using a deposit wallet address we give you. So that's available on Polygon right now. That will be available on Ethereum and other EVM chains as well. And then the last thing we're enabling is direct fiat ramps. So you'll be able to connect your bank account. Obviously, like you can purchase crypto through your credit card, but all of that is seamless and fast and lands within a couple minutes into your Payy wallet automatically without you having to go through extra steps like bridging or swapping or wrapping. So we kind of do all of that for you.
Wow, that's really cool. And I feel like the fiat on and off ramp is, of course, very important, especially for people that 99% that they're looking for a better alternative to the traditional systems to send money cross-border payments of the transfer wise or going to the ATM. And there's so many fees, but that's all they know. And when you add too many technological steps, it's like, I don't want to do it through the app. But if you can really lower those barriers to entry, I feel like that's a multi-billion-dollar market that crypto has yet to sort of break into.
Yeah.
Very cool. And with the wallet, so you mentioned at the beginning about the ZK technology, the privacy technology, all of that, people don't really need to understand the technicalities behind it. Is there a way that you can explain the benefits to the people, that why this is needed or how it benefits them, besides the fact that, if you're a crypto person, you're looking at the blockchain explorer and you're like, okay, there's less information. But if you're coming from the Western Union world, is that stuff really important to them as well?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I think a lot of people don't realize when they come from TradFi to crypto that all of the transactions they're doing are fully public forever.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if you're coming from Western Union and someone gives you a crypto payments app, there's dozens of crypto payments apps now that all use stablecoin, and they're built on Base or Arbitrum or Polygon or whatever. Most people don't realize that those are fully public. And
Mm-hmm.
if you pay at a store with crypto, which is obviously still really hard, even 15 years on from Bitcoin, if you pay at a store with crypto and you walk out of that store, everyone knows that that person that walked out, what their on-chain activity has been.
Mm-hmm.
So how much money you have on there, what DeFi protocols you use, what NFTs you own. And I think a lot of people think that by using like ephemeral wallets and multiple different addresses, that kind of keeps you private. Turns out over the last 6 to 7 years, all the blockchain analysis firms, so if you think about Chainalysis, Arkham Intelligence, TRM Labs, they've all been doing tremendous work to allow people to discover connections between different wallets. Mm-hmm. And they use behavioral analysis, they use big data, they use AI. And today, the technology is so good that they're able to do clustering analysis around times of day and location and all these different signals that they have and bring all that together. And it turns out pseudonymy is pretty much dead. Unless you're really, really, really good at it and you use VPNs and you kind of remember to shuffle around your wallets and you don't use the same centralized exchange deposit address every time. It's really hard to actually maintain proper privacy in crypto. Mm-hmm. All of this to say, the regular consumer today probably doesn't understand this, but I would say in the medium term, crypto is going to have a Cambridge Analytica type moment where some kind of inflection point happens. And just like with Facebook and Cambridge Analytica, no one really cared about putting all their stuff on Facebook, right? Remember, and we used to just put every personal thing on Facebook, right? Relationship status, wow, that was a big thing. And then we all realized that was being used by random companies to do data analysis and being shared. And so I think crypto is going to end up having the same thing. We see the very beginnings of this, right? Google recently started indexing Bitcoin transactions. I think this was last month. And so now you can go and type in a Bitcoin address and you can see the balance and you can see transactions. And obviously you can see where that's going. Google's going to use that for their advertising product. And that's obvious. And now you see like Stripe accepting USDC on a couple different blockchains. Like every time you make a Stripe payment, now that's going to be public for anyone to view. And they can try to use different techniques to get around that. But at the end of the day, it's not going to work on a public network.
No, it's a great point, and I feel like we're already seeing a lot of privacy-related news, crackdowns more so in the news recently of technology. Perhaps there's a lot of people they're doing nothing wrong. They're just looking for a technology that is going to protect their personal information. And then there's the samurai wallet news or other privacy technology that also could be abused by illicit actors. Yep. I feel like any technology could be abused. Google search could be abused by illicit actors. What do you think about what's happening in the news towards the perspective of privacy technology? Are they trying to portray that it's bad or that it could be used for both bad and good?
Yeah, privacy has had a lot of regulatory challenges. I think all the way, if you go back to Zcash, which was basically a progression of Bitcoin into a private network, it was the first popular privacy protocol. It still exists today, obviously, but has gotten in tons of trouble. A bunch of exchanges have delisted it now. It's really hard to use. After that, we had Monero. Then in most recent times, we had Aztec Connect that got shut down. We had Railgun, which is like nice, but is really, really, really hard to use and very expensive. We had Tornado Cash, of course, and now we have a couple new, privacy protocols. Aztec, their final version, hopefully Alio, whenever they come out of testnet or whatever they're working on. I think when we looked at each of these, what we looked at was not absolute privacy, but how much privacy we could give users while still maintaining a service that wouldn't get shut down. And through that, we've actually solved the privacy compliance trade-off really cleverly with this thing we call ZK compliance. Now, traditionally in compliance, what happens? You have a regulator or you have an exchange that wants to apply a set of rules to a bunch of transactions to say whether you're a good person or not. Right? Have you interacted with any OFAC sanctioned wallets? Have you traded with any other risky protocols or risky wallets, et cetera? Now, to do that, what they do is they take all of the data, which is available publicly on chain, and they take your address and then they run their rules over that. And then they get their answer. And then either they allow you to off ramp or not, or they come and try to find you for doing bad things or not. We've completely flipped the model. In our model, you have the data, right? So I mentioned before that all the transaction metadata is actually the user owns it on their device. Now, what you can do is actually take someone else's rule set. That rule set could be as simple as, have you interacted with anyone on the OFAC SDN list? You can run that rule set as a function on your own device, and then you can send back a proof to whoever needs that. Now, that's something that hasn't been done before. It's similar to the privacy pools concept that got popular last year, earlier this year. But we've actually implemented that all the way, and we've made it programmable. And we're starting to work with a couple different partners on the exchange side so that they can implement these kind of frameworks into their off-ramping. And so they won't have to delist a privacy protocol just because some government agency tells them to. They're able to actually prove that the users off-ramping from that protocol are actually clean or abide by a certain set of rules.
Yeah, that's great to hear. The ZK technology is really beautiful in being able to prove something without showing too much information. So that's really cool. I'm curious, in the Payy wallet, when you're sending a value, are you using a stable coin? Is there actually also a privacy coin that the Payy wallet has created? Or can you send any currency? How exactly does that work?
Yeah, so today we allow USDC to be on-ramped into the Payy network. And so that's a traditional lock and mint bridge that we've deployed. And And so you lock your USDC on the public network, and it's minted as wrapped USDC on Pay. We are planning on adding other tokens as well, starting with stablecoins and then expanding into others. We do not have our own privacy token or anything like that. We find those to be very unusable. I mean, who wants to accept, ZEC or Monero, right? Like, no one. And so we think stablecoins are the way to go here. Now, the reason we've done that is because Pay is currently the key use case is only for payments. We are planning on adding future use cases, whether that's being able to earn interest, invest, things like that. But that's coming in the future.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. And I think the payments problem worldwide is a big issue to solve in the first place. So I feel like you have a lot on your hands. And a lot of the people who are trying to send money to different countries or overseas back to their family, they're in a lot of different countries. Are there any restrictions, or is it available to most of the people, the popular countries that are seeing remittances back to their families?
Yeah, so Pay is available in any country that has App Store or Google Play available in those countries. So if you can download an app, you can use Pay. Now, Pay is self-custodial, which means it's kind of like MetaMask or Trust Wallet or Coinbase Wallet. We don't custody any of the funds, and it's fully built on the decentralized Pay network that rolls up to EVM chains. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, anyone in any country that can download an app can use Pay. Now, the real challenge is around how you on and off ramp fiat. Mm-hmm. And so currently we allow, kind of like I was mentioning before, we allow on and off ramping through exchanges. So that's really easy. Most countries around the world have an exchange. So you connect your bank account to the exchange or whatever domestic payment method you have. You on-ramp funds, you buy USDC, and then you send it over to Pay. We're actually going to be bundling those ramps directly into Pay, so you actually can skip that exchange step. And then that will make it actually even easier for folks to send money from one country to another. That's
great. And you hinted at some other functionality in the future. Looking towards the roadmap, in terms of the privacy side and the payment side, is there any more that needs to be done? There's still so many people that are yet to onboard, or is it just awareness of this technology exists? Hey, we need more people to start using it to reap the benefits. Yeah, I mean, Pay is in mainnet, right? So the network is in mainnet. It's been audited. The ZK circuits, as well as smart contracts, the bridge and the roll-up contracts have been audited, and it's ready to use. And we have a couple thousand users already using Pay. Now, the Pay wallet is in beta right now. What that means is it's using real USDC, but there's still a few features we want to add into Pay wallet to make it more usable, like the on and off ramps, improve some of the UX, small things like that. And so that's why we haven't, fully gone into customer acquisition mode just yet. And so that will be like later this summer. But I would suggest, like, if you use crypto payments today, if you use USDC to pay people, Pay wallet is probably the easiest payments app in crypto today. You can go from downloading the app to paying someone within like 5 seconds, as long as your app download is fast. There's no setup. There's no additional work that needs to be done. In fact, if you go to pay.link, payy.link right now, you can actually try out what I just said and see for yourself that it's insanely fast. Very cool, Sid. I'm definitely going to check it out. I'll put that link in the show notes, and also just a link to the apps if people want to download it. This is something that I think is very needed, and not just for people that are already in crypto that are looking to pay easily, but the people that aren't yet. And we need an app like this to go viral so that people can understand the benefits of moving crypto instead of fiat, and how they're really getting ripped off from transferring fiat, especially internationally. I think this is something that could do very well. So I'm looking forward to following up. As this continues to grow, I would love to have you back on the show and discuss more around privacy and just how people need easy payments.
Yep, definitely.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sid.